Living in an inflationary world, and I am a deflationary boy. Would you like to learn what are the top 5 deflationary cryptocurrencies? Why is that important? The reason this is important is because we are on the precipice of global change. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency, but Jerome Powell himself has admitted that the global dominance of the US dollar is losing strength and is dying. The likelihood is that over the coming period of time and transition is that there is going to be potentially a new world reserve currency, and it's going to be a cryptocurrency. The reason why is because of the properties of cryptocurrency and the fact that politicians and global governments and the media have been lying to people. And the thing is back in the past, people trusted the media and politicians and governments. Now they don't. We are right now about to experience change. And the most important thing you can know is what are deflationary cryptocurrencies that are likely to end the problem of inflation. My name is the Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency and finder of 100x gems. Now, I am bringing you this video because I think it's very important that you know what are the deflationary cryptocurrencies that exist out there. Cryptocurrencies that essentially go against the property that is causing the death of the US dollar, which is inflation. Inflation has gotten so bad, and I think it's only going to get worse, to the extent that the US dollar is eventually going to lose all of its power completely. Like, only should the Fed actually increase the Fed interest rate to such a level that it's higher than the rate of inflation, which is undoubtedly over 9.1%, that it's inevitable that the US dollar will never ever have the same purchasing power and not even be close to the same purchasing power it has maintained over years. So, deflationary cryptocurrencies. A lot of the cryptocurrencies that exist out there are inflationary. A lot of them have uncapped supplies. Supplies that are unlimited. It's never going to end. Now, you need to be aware of what are the fixed supply cryptocurrencies and what are the ones where the circulating supply is very, very low and where deflation is actually going to end up being how these cryptocurrencies circulate over time. So if you love the sound of that, smash a like on this video, subscribe to the Suppoman, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss lives. You don't want to be missing lives because today, only today, did I get into Moonbeam for 32.5 cents. Now, if we have a look at the price of Moonbeam right now, Moonbeam is, I would say, roughly about 70 cents. Yeah, 70 cents. So I was able to get into Moonbeam at over a 50% discount via convergence. And I brought this up in the last 2 videos. And people have been saying, Superman, why didn't you say? I did say, so make sure you watch these videos. They are so important. Right, okay. So, before we go on to what I believe to be the best information you could be getting, because this is where I think billions are going to be made, because it is only in deflationary cryptocurrencies that have current demand, have technology, which is placing it in the top echelon of cryptocurrencies, are we going to be seeing great change. If you're looking at a super duper low cap, maybe shitcoin, that also maybe has deflationary elements or built-in deflationary elements over time, the likelihood is that will never be seen. You need to know about the cryptocurrencies that are likely to last over multiple cycles, make 100 to 1,000 X's, even though they are relatively high even right now, because they are likely to monumentally increase in price due to deflation. And the reason why Bitcoin today is the most dominant cryptocurrency is because it is the most scarce cryptocurrency. It's got a low fixed supply of 21 million. That 21 million is not going to be achieved or mined until the year 2140. So this is one of the properties that has made Bitcoin stand out amongst everything else, why it has made Bitcoin digital gold. But there are cryptocurrencies, and the 5 I'm going to bring you do not involve Bitcoin. And they are going to be deflationary, whereas Bitcoin is going to be inflationary up until the point of 2040. So I'm going to be coming to this very, very shortly. But just before I do, let's talk about what has been happening in cryptocurrency at the moment. So the cryptocurrency landscape has been a very, very odd one, if I'm honest with you. Like, it's got all the elements of being bearish. You know, we've had Michael Saylor stepping down as the CEO of MicroStrategy, but the likelihood is that he was pushed, probably because of his aggressive stance on Bitcoin, and a new CEO is going to be taking place. And we've had Solana. There's been a major Solana hack, huge 6 million plus Solana exploit that has not done anything for Solana. Actually, it's not hurt Solana. It's hardly hurt Solana at all. Now, there are people right now saying, yeah, but it wasn't a Solana issue. That is not the point. When you get bearish information, when you get any bearish news on a cryptocurrency, it sinks that cryptocurrency, whether it's at the forefront of it or not. So anyway, so let's have a look. So obviously the Michael Saylor news, that's there, and to be honest, that should be bearish. However, it is not doing anything really for Bitcoin. Bitcoin remains more at the upper end of this channel. Now, this is the high test. This is the first high test. This resistance line right here. Now, it has gone through it twice, as you've seen, and that's the second high test. So, should it go through it, then the likelihood is that it's going to achieve a ceiling of 24.6k. Should it obviously break through that, then it's got relatively clear skies, actually. So it's looking relatively bullish, and one of the reasons why is because of the FOMC break, summer break. So it's giving some time for cryptocurrencies to have a bit of a bullish season. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't really, in the grand scheme of things, really matter. Because, like I showed you in the last video, because if you're wondering, Suppoman, should I be buying that dollar cost averaging? Yeah, well, you probably should be anyway, if that's what if you're feeling that you should. But in the last bear market, which started around about January, February, it was end of January 2018, when the bear market started, the price went down to like nearly 6k, and it shot up to 13k, went back down to 5.7k, shot up to 9k. So these rises really are not significant, they're not meaningful. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to happen and that you can't respect them when they happen. But at this present time, we are still at a very low price. We're still in the low 20s. Any news at this point could tip us either way. Okay, very, very bearish news could tip us back to the bottom. Any bullish news could tip us towards 30k. But ultimately, as this recession, which has been marketed as a soft recession, as it gets confirmed as a recession, and remember, back in the 2007-2008 recession, the 2007 recession started in December 2007. However, it was not actually announced as a recession until December 2008. So that was a whole year that the world was in denial, the Fed was in denial, the governments were in denial. They weren't even in denial. They were marketing. They were lying. They were saying everything was fine and making everybody enslaved to their system, whilst at the same time lying to them, knowing that hardship was coming. And they just didn't want for themselves to look bad and for the market to go down so drastically. So once it was announced, that was when you saw the big sell-off. And I maintain that 2023 is going to be that time. That's going to be the time we're going to see the major damage done. Okay? So anyway, back off to the subject, right? So now we have got Gucci is the first major brand to accept ApeCoin. ApeCoin. Now, ApeCoin, I am probably going to be adding to my bear hit list. It is already part of the mid-risk diversified portfolio because it's got NFT and metaverse connotations. And that makes it powerful for when NFTs and metaverse do well. And Gucci is obviously quite a favorite in cryptocurrency land as one of the premium designer brands. So it's only in the US for now, but it just goes to show that adoption is taking place. We've got Gucci accepting ApeCoin payments. You've got Tiffany & Co. getting involved in the NFT environment and providing a pendant of CryptoPunks. So you can see that the adoption is getting bigger. The price doesn't reflect that at the moment, and it will probably undoubtedly continue not to reflect that. But that doesn't mean that progress cannot happen in the meantime. Obviously, we've had this Solana exploit, which has been tied to the Slope wallet. So basically, this Slope wallet had an exploit in it that enabled for hackers, which I think at this present time, they are still unknown and have still not given any cash back. It's provided them with the perfect way of being able to rinse out Solana from hot wallets, basically mobile wallets or wallets that are readily available with your funds. So what I did yesterday, I was up all night yesterday. There were a few things I needed to do. And one of those things was I sent my Solana over to Binance. So yeah, so that's something I did. And that's probably something that you should do if you haven't yet done. You don't know if they are done with this exploit or not, or how far they're going to go with this exploit. Right, okay, so now we are going to move into this. This, I think, is the best part, best content that you could possibly know about right now, because I think that a collapse is going to be coming for the market, for all global financial markets, and it's going to hit cryptocurrency, I think, hardest. I think we're going to hit a new bottom. I think it's not out of the ordinary to expect a 4-figure Bitcoin based on the potential catastrophe that's coming, right? When the shit really hits the fan. You know, you've got China and Taiwan tensions increasing even more as Nancy Pelosi was getting on the plane yesterday to Taiwan, like there was global watch on it. So it just goes to show the shit is going to hit the fan, and that is just one macro aspect that I think is going to contribute to a very bad atmosphere created in 2023. But ultimately, I think this is a view that's held by a lot of economists and analysts, is that the US dollar is constantly dying out in terms of the world reserve currency. We have seen over the course of time that people earning a wage are earning less and less versus the cost of living. Okay, so buying a new house. Okay, so a new house today, I don't know what it's like in your country, but let's say the average income has gone up about 3x in the UK. So where it was £10,000 in the UK, it's now about £30,000 is the average income. Okay, you get the mega elites that are on 6 figures, or 7 figures, but you've got the not ordinary person in between about £20,000 and £30,000. A new house used to be 2.5x the average income. Now, if we've got the average income at 30, a new house is more like 350,000. Okay, that means it's gone up 10x. So what was 2.5x is now 10x. So basically, the ability to buy the things that you used to be able to buy on a reasonable income, that's no longer the case. And actually, it is just getting worse. Where a tin of Campbell's soup for 100 years between 1865 and 1965 was 10 cents. Since the US dollar lost its peg or stopped being measured against the gold standard, then it was no longer backed by the gold standard. It has now become $1. So for 100 years, 10 cents stable. And then once the dollar started losing purchasing power, it's now one whole dollar rather than 10 cents to buy soup. And that is the world that we're living in right now. You go to the shops, everything's more expensive. So this is because of inflation, obviously. Inflation's a huge problem, and it's very unlikely to be controlled. What the Fed are doing right now, they're not controlling it. The situation's getting worse, and this is being kind of held back from you. But what you can do at this present time is you can hedge yourself with cryptocurrencies that go the opposite way of the dollar. So this is why I am bringing you the top 5 deflationary cryptocurrencies. So what I'm going to be showing you here is I'm going to be showing you using BNB, which is my number 5 as an example, is what is the current inflation rate? When is deflation going to be experienced with this cryptocurrency? What type of supply is it? Is it uncapped, unlimited supply, like most cryptocurrencies out there? Or is it a fixed supply? And what is the gains potential? So you can't really see this right now, so bear with me. Can I move this so you can see? So the gains potential is going to be behind me, okay? So I will do my best to tell you what these are because you can't see them. Actually, let me just move myself to up here. Okay, so the top 5 deflationary cryptocurrencies, what are they? I am going to be going in order of gains, okay? But at the same time, I'm going to be talking about what is most likely to actually be used in the future and what is a fantastic hedge against the dollar dying out in the meantime. So BNB is at the bottom of this list because the gains potential is minor. However, that should not deter you from investing in BNB, which is the Binance coin. So Binance's coin, because they do buy and burns and buybacks, essentially Binance coin has an inflation rate of minus 2.35. So it's already deflationary. Okay, so where the US dollar is 9.1% inflation, which I think is a lie, it's more like probably 10 to 15% inflation, if not more. And BNB is minus 2.35, and it's already deflationary. The supply is fixed. It will never go over its max supply. But the gains potential is minor. However, it's only in the last 18 months that actually BNB really started to explode. It was actually worth about $17 around about 2 years ago. Yeah, around about during the Corona season, it was about $17. And now it is $300. I regret selling my BNB. I sold my BNB because I was looking to essentially, I sold it into stable coins in order to be able to capitalize on the bottoms. However, BNB has grown since the point I have sold it. So it just goes to show the properties of BNB that make it outclass most cryptocurrencies and why this is growing when most other cryptocurrencies are not. So BNB is very, very powerful. It's deflationary for its lifetime. So the likelihood is that this is going to be one of the strongest cryptocurrencies. Most people don't talk about BNB. Most people talk about Bitcoin and they talk about Ethereum. But most people do not talk about BNB. It's the third best cryptocurrency you can invest in. And the likelihood is that although the gains are minor, this I don't see going anywhere. Binance is the unicorn of cryptocurrency. It's more reliable than Coinbase. It's arguably one of the standout businesses in cryptocurrency. BNB is attached to that ecosystem. So the likelihood is that BNB is going to be around for a long, long time and is undoubtedly going to be a 4-figure coin in the next bull run and potentially a 5-figure coin over the course of multiple cycles. Meaning $300 is like, it's a bit like buying Bitcoin in 2013 when Bitcoin was, $300 then. Anyway, next we have got, bear with me. Next we need to get on the right page. Next we've got Ethereum. Now Ethereum at this present time, since its EIP 1559, they have managed to change the model of increasing the mint, increasing the supply. So it was previously 4% inflation. It's now moved to 0.53% as of this year. And as of the merge, it's going to become a deflationary currency. Now, it is not a fixed supply, unfortunately. Ethereum is going to be uncapped and unlimited. However, by being deflationary, it's very unlikely to actually achieve over the course of time its full and max supply. Now, this is a gains potential of 3. However, when we are looking at the potential next world reserve currency, should it be a cryptocurrency, there's only really 2 choices for it. One is Ethereum, the other is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has got much more diminishing returns for you as an investor. Ethereum has got much larger returns. Now, at this present time, it will be a 3x gain. However, in my personal opinion, I think Ethereum is going to go down below $1,000 over the course of this bear market. I'd hope for it to go south of $500, but that may be unachievable because of the deflationary elements coming to Ethereum. So the likelihood is that we may possibly retest the current lows we have achieved with Ethereum, which was about $950 to $900. So we're likely to go down to there again and hopefully even lower. We don't know how big a car crash this recession is going to be. So this would be one I would be looking to get. However, what I would say is that Ethereum, I think, if you're going to be investing in a multi-cycle cryptocurrency, a multi-cycle strong cryptocurrency, is that it's best to go to Ethereum rather than Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be the world reserve currency, but it doesn't have the scalability. It is seen as digital gold, and gold isn't a currency. Gold is a commodity and an asset class known for appreciative elements, but I don't see it being a world reserve currency because it hasn't got the scalability. Yes, there is potential Lightning Network buildability into apps and payment systems, but I would say that Ethereum and the Ethereum merge actually makes it a big player in the potential to be the next world reserve currency. All right, so I think that Ethereum, if you can get it cheap enough, will be one of the strongest cryptocurrencies you can get. I do think that Ethereum is going to hit a $20,000 valuation come the next bull run. I think it's possible it could go higher than that. But I think that over multiple cycles, you're probably looking at something that could be more 50,000, 60,000 over multiple cycles. So I'm talking a long way away from now. So that would represent, so let's say you were able to get it at about $1,000. Should it go to $60,000? That's 60x. Now, if you can get it at, if you can get it at 800, it's better. If it goes down to 500, this is an all-in my personal opinion. Now we're going to start going up in ability to make gains. So the next one is Cardano. Now Cardano is the super system, a super system that is looking to usurp Ethereum. Cardano is looking to be a 1 million transactions per second cryptocurrency, a powerhouse cryptocurrency, a fully decentralized cryptocurrency. There's arguments to be made that Ethereum is not a truly decentralized cryptocurrency, and power is going to go to the people that have the majority stake in Ethereum and, you know, were initial stakers for Ethereum 2, etc. And that it's more, it has more of a centralized feel about it. Whereas Cardano is definitely moving towards a more decentralized future. And that is how it's looking to be essentially autonomous, essentially run without Charles Hoskinson, run by the community of Cardano. So currently, the inflation rate of Cardano is low. It's got a high supply, but it is a low inflation rate of only 2.06%. Now, come 2030 onwards, this is going to be a deflationary currency. Now, I think this is going to make Cardano a real powerhouse. I think it's going to make it it's going to make it a 3-figure coin over the course of time. The deflationary element. And I think Cardano, if you think about it, Cardano at this present time is 50 cents. 50 cents to a 3-figure cryptocurrency over multiple cycles. And I am talking around about 7 years. I think is an incredible return on investment. A lot of people in cryptocurrency probably doesn't suit. I'm one of the people that likes going for a micro cap cryptocurrency. One, you can make a nice 100, 300, 500x gain on, and it not even have to be a large cap. It can be a mid cap, and you still make that huge gain. But if you were looking to invest in cryptocurrencies like people invest in stocks, basically over the very, very long term, into de-risk cryptocurrencies, unlikely to go away, into cryptocurrencies that are looking to deflate over time, and their fixed supply makes them a commodity like Bitcoin, Cardano is a top pick. All right, now I think that Cardano has got the potential to go down to about 20 cents. It could go as low as 15 cents if the shit really hits the fan. If prices go down astronomically, it could go down to 15 cents, 10 cents maybe, but I don't think so. It's too strong, I think, a community. Now, the other thing I love about Cardano is that what's not priced in is the ecosystem. The ecosystem is very, very new. The smart contracts capability in the Cardano blockchain has only really just got released. And we've had some pretty poor examples of Cardano dApps so far, for instance, Sunday Swap. But over the course of time, just like with any cryptocurrency, I see them ironing this out because they have got amongst the best eggheads behind this company. So I foresee that Cardano is going to be a 3-figure coin that at this present time is got moderate gains ahead of it for the next cycle. But should it go really, really low, you could be making life-changing gains with Cardano and investing in Cardano early. Right, let me just now move my face down now that you can see stuff. Right, okay. In number 2 is where it really gets interesting. In number 2, in fact, let me put it to you. What do you think number 2 is? I'm going to ask you to see if you can come up with the number 2. And let's see how we're doing. By the way, people, we got 425 people, which is, I think, excellent, actually, for this time of night. I normally come on a bit later, a bit earlier, sorry. So as a result of that, I think it's quite good going. However, not many likes. So if I could implore you to, quite literally, while I'm waiting for your answers, to smashy likey and watch that thumb animate in front of your face, I would be very grateful if you would do that. And I'm going to get to your super chats, where I see there are super chats already, so I've got to make sure I am going to get to them. Don't you worry. They don't disappear from my screen altogether. Oh, yeah, good point. I didn't tweet. How? Yeah, didn't tweet. Right, let me do that. Good point. Good point. Well made. I'm glad I asked the question now. Right, okay. So thank you very much, Lindsay. That was well played. Right, let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. So Sheba. Oh, that's a good one, actually. That is a good one. Good guess. Elrond, Matic. No, Matic has got actually a relatively high inflation rate. Cadena has a high inflation rate as well. It's 20% for Cadena. Solana is 6 to 7%. Over the course of time, it's going to go lower, but it's quite high. Pulse Chain, that's going to start off quite high. We're going to have to wait and see how that works out. Polkadot is 20%. I want to say it's either 10. No, it's probably 10%. Polkadot, I think, is 10% inflation. Might be a bit more than that. But no, it's definitely not Polkadot. Yeah, really ADA. Yeah, really ADA. And I think that one of the reasons why I hated ADA at first, and this was when I invested in it when it was 2 cents, one of the reasons I hated ADA is because it had just such an enormous supply, right? Which I thought, you know, like with XRP, you need to, and XRP never really moves. It's never really moved. Is that what you need so much demand that it pushes the purchase of all those billions of coins, and people hodl them for the price to appreciate. And Cardano has found it very difficult over, I would say, in bear periods. Cardano found it very, very difficult to evolve from being a 2 to 5 cent cryptocurrency. You know, all throughout kind of 2018 through to the end of 2020, Cardano pretty much maintained 2 to 10 cents, that whole range, throughout 2 years for a very strong cryptocurrency. And one of the big reasons behind that is because of the large supply. But once this becomes deflationary, and it's already got huge demand, it's got a massive cult, the cult's bigger than it ever was, and there are more people talking about it than they ever did. So Cardano, yes, I think over the course of time it's going to be incredibly strong as a result of those elements. It's not Bitcoin, and it's not Moonbeam, unfortunately. Moonbeam has got a 6% inflation rate, and Moonbeam also has an uncapped supply. So they need this, and this is the problem with a lot of proof-of-stake cryptocurrencies, is that in order to be able to pay all the stakers that obviously maintain the network, the security of the network, that are the DAO of the network, is that they need to be paid, and the inflation is kind of built in, and the uncapped nature and the unlimited nature of the supply is built in. It's just one of those things you cannot get away from. But that is what makes these particular cryptocurrencies very, very special, in my opinion. Right, okay, so there's not actually been any guesses, I don't think, for the second one. In fact, no, there isn't. No, I'm looking, and there isn't, not even one. Gala is also very inflationary. Litecoin is deflationary, and it has halvings as well. However, Litecoin is a shit coin, really. So, you know, I don't include that in this list. Okay, so the second one is Decentraland. Now, Decentraland was initially created with 8% inflation built into it. However, the DAO made a vote and decided to bring it down to 0%. Now, with the NFTs, what happens is that mana actually gets burnt. So it's a deflationary cryptocurrency. Now, this is really going to increase the value of Decentraland when NFT and Metaverse season really goes on full pelt in the bull run in 2024 onwards. When that happens, I think that Decentraland is going to go nuts. I think it could be easily a 3-figure cryptocurrency. Easily be a 3-figure cryptocurrency with the deflation. With the deflation built into it, and not only that, the fact that Decentraland is likely to be the top metaverse in cryptocurrency. It really is a battle between Sandbox and Decentraland at this present time. But the Sandbox has very high inflation, but Decentraland does not. Decentraland has no inflation and is a burned cryptocurrency with NFT minting. As a result of that, it actually is a deflationary cryptocurrency and it's fixed supply. Now, this has got a gains potential just to get to the top, and it only had a 1-month bull run. It had a 1-month bull run. So it hasn't had a prolonged bull run. It's not had a matic experience, as it were, where it's had a kind of prolonged bull rally right from the beginning, where it's been able to achieve incredible gains. Decentraland has made incredible gains, but only had 1 month to do it. And that was that 1 month about when, in November, when Facebook rebranded to Meta. But now that everybody knows about Decentraland, and now that there's such huge money flow in Decentraland, this is a powerhouse. This is arguably in the top 1 of metaverse plays. This and Sandbox. It really is a tug of war. Sandbox has better fundamentals, but Decentraland has better inflationary elements or better supply characteristics. So therefore, Decentraland, I think, is incredibly strong. And over the course of time, I see this just going to the stratosphere. In at number 1, this is one that you guys... Hold on. This is one that you guys did guess. In at number 1, we have got Elrond. Okay, now, Elrond, what I love about Elrond is the fact that this really mimics Ethereum in the sense that this is one of those very, very technologically proficient blockchains. A blockchain that's got very fast finality, very fast transaction throughput. This could easily be a payment network of the future. I actually see Elrond as an outside chance, not of being a world reserve currency, but of being branded as the next Bitcoin. It's one of very few cryptocurrencies that has a very low fixed supply. Now, they've got an inflation rate of 4%. They had built into it around about how it was when it came into fruition and the new Elrond ecosystem was created back in 2021, was that they had 10% for the first year, then 9%, 8%, 7% for 10 years, and then going down 1% each year. And then by 2031, it would reach its max supply of 30 million, I want to say. It would reach its max supply, and then that would be it. However, because of the fact that it's relatively gasless transactions with Elrond, is that actually the inflation rate's lower than predicted. It's 4%. And it's still likely to, and it's never likely to hit its max supply of 30 minutes. Never likely to hit its max supply. And should it achieve its max supply, well, there's no rate of inflation ever after that anyway. But after 10 years, there will be no likely inflation. And Elrond, like I said, very, very fast transaction throughput. I see Elrond as kind of Bitcoin for store of value, plus ETH2 for the type of network it is. A proof of stake, blockchain, layer 1 cryptocurrency. So it basically incorporates characteristics of 2 of the best cryptocurrencies. So Elrond I came to very, very late in my discovery, which is a shame, however, also not a shame, because Elrond at this present time is one of the lowest prices it's ever been. During the bull run, it was $545, and now it's $58. I want this to go down to around about $15 to $20. Should it go down to that, this would be one I am not going to let go of. Right? I don't think it will, because if it goes down to 15 to 20, it will never go there again. Just based on the rate of inflation and the fact it's going to be deflationary, and the fact that they actually don't even trigger the inflation that was predicted for it. And I see it as a layer 1 also going up with the tide. You know, with Cardano, with Nia, with Solana. So I see this as being, as demand growing, and inflation obviously is low, and it being deflationary, I see this being a four-figure coin over the course of time. And a lot of people talk about it. It's very, very well known. It's highly invested in. It's got a huge amount of money flow. These five I think are very strong. But if I was to invest in any of them, it would be the top three. And should Ethereum go down to under 500, this would be an all-in for me. Like, I would put in 6 figures into Ethereum at that point. Which you'll know anyway. You've seen my buy orders on Binance. So anyway, yeah, so there we are. So I'm going to now take your suggestions and look at the inflation rates for other cryptocurrencies that you may be wanting to know about. Okay, so these are the 5 deflationary cryptocurrencies that not only have deflationary elements, but they're strong enough to be considered as world reserve currencies. Probably not Elrond and Decentraland, for the purposes of the fact that Elrond is new and Decentraland is metaverse related. But Cardano, Ethereum, Binance Coin, they're 3 good chances. They're 3 good chances of those being adopted as a world reserve currency. Probably most likely Ethereum. But yeah, but as an outside chance, as people realize how bad the rate of inflation is in all fiat currencies, there is going to be a pivot into deflationary cryptocurrencies. And it's probably one of the elements I have ignored up until recently. Because of how big a problem inflation has been, it's not merely been that I look at a cryptocurrency's vision, its team, its VCs, its tokenomics. I now look at inflation rate as a independent characteristic of tokenomics. By the way, people, we've only got 198 likes. What the hell? So if we get up to 300 likes, then I know you want another stream this week. And I don't know what's going on. Like, YouTube seemed to be putting the old thumbnail on my videos. So I see the old thumbnail. So if we get 300 likes, then I will definitely do another stream this week where I will just look at your suggestions. That's all I will do. Right, okay, so let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. So, Nia, somebody asked. I think I've looked at Nia before. Nia protocol. Because Nia is a common word. They won't necessarily associate with the cryptocurrency. 4.5% each year. Let me have a look and see if it's fixed supply. So 4 to 5% a year. Let me just have a look and see if it's uncapped. This will pick it up. Okay, so near supply is not capped. Near supply is not capped. Okay, so there we are. That is the problem. Okay, well, a lot of cryptocurrencies, even the strong ones, Moonbeam included, 5 to 6% seems to be the standard for the top cryptocurrencies. For the proof of stake cryptocurrencies, 5 to 6% is kind of needed to pay all the stakers and maintain the stakers and therefore maintain the security of the network and therefore grow as a network. But they tend to be uncapped and 5 to 6%, and that is an issue. That is what puts it out of the realm of potentially being a deflationary cryptocurrency, one that the mass market pivot into to battle against their fiat lack of purchasing power. So why I imagine there will be a narrative that people will go to deflationary currencies is because everybody has had no choice over years because there's never been alternatives, and people were probably considering that cryptocurrency was a scam and only used for illegal activity. They've not even considered cryptocurrencies. But I think that as education has improved, as adoption has improved, you're seeing Gucci and Tiffany and Co. and as well as Tesla and etc. All these big businesses adopting cryptocurrency or investing in cryptocurrency or having some partnership with cryptocurrency, you will see the trust building, and therefore people will get hopefully, knowledgeable about what's deflationary and be able to increase their purchasing power using cryptocurrencies. And so NEAR doesn't really fit that mold because of the fact it's uncapped. Optimism from Rick Garay. Optimism is unfortunately not low inflation at all. So one of the reasons why I didn't go all in on optimism when the initial bottom was found is because I've just realised I've just lost some super chats. Let me see if I can find them on here. Oh, crap. Right, anyway, so the reason I didn't get into optimism is because it's got a 30% inflation rate next year. So it's going to have 30% of supply added on next year. So let's just have a look. So optimism is currently 234, and it's a 4 billion supply cryptocurrency, and it's going to go to over 1 billion. It's going to go to over 1 billion this time next year, which means that it's going to dilute the price heavily. So although, look at that. Look at that. Optimism has 5x'd since the bottom. And I suppose since I bought into it, a dollar cost averaging into it. The problem of inflation is a later problem. Like, it won't spoil it now, it will spoil it later. Okay, so that's the issue. But optimism is very strong. And we're seeing that now. You know, I did say it was going to be strong. You need to get in at the beginning. Yes and no. You know, did you need to get into Bitcoin at cents, or could you have gotten in at $300 and still made a hell of a lot of money? Yeah, you could have. So it all depends on your appetite for it all depends on your ability to be patient. You know, patience is probably the hardest thing to achieve in cryptocurrency. A, patience for prices, waiting for prices, but B, patience waiting for value over time. You know, Richard Hart said it absolutely perfectly. Richard Hart said, the longer that you can delay gratification, the more rich you'll become. The richest people in cryptocurrency are the ones that delayed gratification the longest. Remember that, okay? You know, Box Mining said to me himself, yeah, he bought Bitcoin, I think, at like $30 or something, and then it went down to $6, and he sold it. There we are. And look at the money he could have made. And I think he had a very similar story for Ethereum. I think he bought a load at $9, I think he said. And again, he sold it too early. So, yeah. And all he had to do was hold. If you've got conviction, and the thing is, as time has gone on, you know, Binance Coin, Ethereum Coin, Cardano, you know they're not really going to go anywhere. And even if they do, you know, the likelihood is that you are more likely to win more than you lose. You know, so you do get your lunars. It does happen. I won't cancel out the fact that it can happen. But at the same time, most cryptocurrencies that are elite cryptocurrencies, de-risked cryptocurrencies, not the microcap shit, which are very risky, but I mean like the elite cryptocurrencies. If you hold them for long enough, you'll be very rich. You know, simple as that. Right, okay. What do you mean by inflation? What I mean by inflation is the amount of supply added per year. Okay, essentially that will dilute ultimately the token price. All right, the market cap will go up. The token price will not go up as much, but the overall market cap of the cryptocurrency will increase. And that's not good for 100x gains. If you want the 100x gains, you got to go where supply is fixed, pretty much, and where it's deflationary. That is where you achieve the Bitcoin type gains, where it keeps going up, even though it reaches fantastic plateaus anyway, where it reaches prices you wouldn't have imagined. You know, over the course of time, crypto is becoming just less and less de-risked at the higher level. Hi, thoughts on Rose from Moon Lambo. Oh man, I'm gutted. There's two super chats which have actually which are actually not on my interface now, which actually really pees me off. So bear with me. So if you did do the super chat, let me know. But thoughts on Rose? If Patrick's here, is Patrick here? I don't know if Patrick is here, but flag it up to me. The people who did put super chats. Wrong Rose, Oasis. It has relatively good demand. It's 5-1 demand. What's the all-time high of Rose? 59 cents, 8 cents now. So it's not lost a huge amount, 85%. I don't know. One needs to look into something very, very deep. Let me have a look at the inflation rate. See if I can find it. No, inflation rate. That can't be. The current circulating is 5 billion out of 10 billion. The current yearly supply inflation rate is 235%. That's ridiculous. Well, it doesn't sound great, if I'm honest with you. And it kind of makes sense as to why this has maintained a mid-cap status, despite the market going down, and this being one of what I would say as not the popular layer ones. Like, it's relatively popular, but it's not considered in the same league as Solana, etc. So, yeah, I would say that the inflation rate puts me off, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, one would need to look into more detail at the inflation rate, because over time it tends to reduce dramatically. But yeah, Oasis Network does nothing for me. Layer 1, Web3, it's just using the same buzzwords as all others. Parallel smart contract layers, private scalable DeFi. Yeah, I mean, okay, so DeFi, I think Polychain is pretty good. Well, Polychain is excellent. Pantera and Andreessen Horowitz. They're top-notch partners, but those guys have, where it is now, it's grown quite a lot. The upside doesn't look quite as attractive. It's definitely pertinent to look at these VCs, but if they're a smaller cap, it's got higher to rise. So given the inflation rate, yeah, I would say it's not that appealing, personally. Let's have a look. There's lots of you guys asking questions. Tommy Viles or Villes, it's the have-nots and the have-yachts. That's so true. We are living in an era of the have-nots and the have-yachts. Absolutely right. And those of us in cryptocurrency are definitely more, even though it feels like we're more of the have-nots right now, we're definitely more on the side of being the have-yachts in future. A lot of cryptocurrencies, one could just have held for many years, and you'd be a millionaire, billionaire, who knows, So you just have to hold a lot of the time, and or swing invest. Sell, buy down lower, particularly in times of the times that are coming up. And Tommy, like you said, I think that the era that we have got coming up shortly of all-time best prices, being able to get prices right down to the minimum, retraced to an extent we think is too good to be true. That era and period is upon us, and that will be the enabler of the have-yachts. I was watching a podcast today with Andrew Tate between Anthony Popliano and Andrew Tate. It was a fantastic podcast. I'd recommend you watch it. And in that, He said that he bought, Andrew Tate bought, I think he said $600,000 worth of Bitcoin during Corona season, during the Corona crash in March 2020, and he walked away with $12 million. So it just goes to show that even with the strongest assets and with the most dire of economic environments, if you are able to buy a strong asset in a poor economic environment, you are likely to achieve similar. Now, obviously, one doesn't normally have $600,000. Like, it's not, you can't just magic that out of thin air. But it's a derivative, right? You have to look at your derivative. Is it 6,000? Is it 60,000? I think that if we were to get $500 Ethereum, that would be a sell your property. Well, maybe not that. But that would be to really try and put everything, as much as you can into it. And work as hard as you can to have as much as you can to put into it. Because that can spur on the chances of caveats. So thank you very much for that, Tommy. Donny Huddle. All right, Brother Suppo, look into Moon River and covalent inflation rate. So Moon River's inflation rate is exactly the same as Moonbeam, which is 5% and it's uncapped. The difference between Moon River and Moonbeam in terms of tokenomics is that Moonbeam still has seed investors still has seed investor vesting going on. So I think it's every month. On the 11th, I think, of the month. On the 11th of the month, every month, more tokens are unlocked for the vesting. So it's probably leading to initially a higher inflation rate. But over the course of time, it's got the same built-in inflation rate to Moonbeam. Covalent, I don't know. But Covalent is a completely different type of cryptocurrency. Very, very unlikely to be the type to be a world reserve currency. It would help if I spelt correctly. Obviously, don't take into consideration what I am finding out here on the off the cusp, all right? So make sure you do your own detailed research like I did for this video. I didn't just, what's the inflation rate of this? And then make a video about it. Like I probably knew these figures anyway. But but make sure that you do your own you do your own in-depth research. It doesn't really have the inflation rate here of Covalent. Let's have a look and see if there's anything on Misari that tells us... Oh my god! 35% inflation rate? That's ginormous. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. And that's current. Issuance percentage, 55%. It's massive. So I'm surprised there's not greater dilution of Covalent. I must admit, I've forgotten what Covalent even is. Web3 data points is basically like the graph, I want to say, or like Chainlink-ish. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's more like Chainlink. No, it is more like the graph. It's more like the graph. So what is Covalent? 21 mil. And Covalent's investors. Let's have a look. Yeah, they had good ones. Binance Alameda, AU21, CoinGecko even. And Coinbase. So Covalent just had bad luck. Bad timing, I suppose. Let's have a look and see where it came out. I think it came out like mid last year. Yeah, it came out mid last year. And yeah, I just think it wasn't the right type of cryptocurrency. Like, Covalent is a DeFi cryptocurrency, and DeFi cryptocurrencies had their bull market in April last year, March, April last year. So it fell out of that. So I think what happened is that Coinbase, Binance, some really top-notch investors invested in this earlier. They would have invested in it early 2021, hoping it would fit right in, slap bang into the bull trend for DeFi season, but they just missed it. This came out 2 months after, and the bet didn't work out. And it doesn't seem like it has brilliant volume. 20... No, it's probably a little bit less than that. It's probably more like 10 to 1. 10, 11 to 1. It's not very good. So there we are. I hope that answered your question, Donny Hoddle. Let's have a look at the rest of them. Oh, Patch Stock is in the house. Good to see you. But Crypto Insomniac for $20. Thank you very much. Check out my post on the chat. Crypto Insomniac. This guy's taught me a lot since 2017 till now. My life's changed so much, fam. With respect. If you are watching, smash the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much, Crypto Insomniac. Did you have anything more to say? Do you have any questions that you... Anything you particularly wanted me to look at? Either way, thank you very much for the $20. Really appreciate that. Yeah, that goes into Suppoman's recession fund to help me with paying my bills. Because I'm not selling any crypto into fiat. I never have, actually. All the money that's in crypto stays in crypto. Even if it becomes a stable coin, I don't sell often. I've sold like twice, and that was to buy this place and my previous place. Otherwise, I don't sell my cryptos. So I will literally use only money made from Udemy, which, as you can imagine at this present time, is pretty low because nobody's interested in cryptocurrency, so nobody's buying my courses. So that will go into Superman's recession fund. So thank you very much, Crypto Insomniac. Alonso Vega, hello Suppo. Can you align the graph of the S&P 500 from 2005 to 2008 and the graph from 2016 2020? You will notice the similarities. I think I covered this the other day, in essence, which is that I did see a very close synchronicity between the two. So let's just have a quickie. And a look. Right. S&P. Let's have a. I don't know if mine goes as. Oh, it might do actually. I don't know. Does it go back as far as 2005? It does it? Yes, it does. Right. Okay. So, 2005. Goes up 29%. And then goes down. Oh, God's sake. Stupid graphs. Right, and then goes down. So what was it? Went up 29% and goes down 60. Oops. Right, okay. So let's go to date of today. So 2016, 2022. Bit of a bigger rise. This was quantitative easing season when money was pumped into the economy. So, but let me have a look. So 2016. Yeah, bigger rise, I would say. Huge rise. God damn, 161%. So not quite the same, but I see what you're saying. It's like the exuberance was huge, and yet the fall from grace is tiny. Right, so if we have a look, basically we've got a monumental rise and a little blip, which is the recession. And yet if we go and have a look back in the 2005 era, we had not so big a rise and we fell 3 times harder than we had risen. I don't think that's going to happen this time. If we went 3 times harder, we'd be fucked. We're dead. Bitcoin's going to zero, people. But anyway, yeah. So I think that we need to break this. This base support, and I think it is going to happen. And I think when it does, every market will follow. So there we are, Marble Arch. Hey Suppo and CWS Seascape. I think they're old shitty coins, aren't they? Ankapu Crypto. I think they're pretty rubbish. But let's just have a look at CWS, which I remember last year was was crowns, wasn't it? Yeah, seascape crowns. Yeah, it's pretty shit. It's dog shit. It's dog shit. So yeah, so I think this was a NFT play way back when. I don't even know. Yeah, NFT, CDEX. It's one of those shit coins trying to be a load of things and not really achieving anything. Really, it's just kind of like a nothing. If you want to have a marketable, commercial, potential powerhouse cryptocurrency, you need to be brilliant at one niche thing. You know, Ethereum is one of the best at being a layer one, and Bitcoin's the best at being a store of value, and Chainlink's the best at being a oracle, and and Decentraland's the best at being a metaverse. You know, you need to be niche. If Decentraland was a DEX, a meme coin, a DeFi, and NFTs and metaverse, it would not work. It'd be too diluted a value proposition for people to really know what you are. And and that would just turn people off. So so I hope that is a little lesson of what not to invest in. I don't know quite why there's 300,000 invested in this shit. Energy web token. Please talk about Moonbeam and Muru. I think I've done that like ad nauseum, and even in this stream. Energy web token. Let's have a look at that one, because Energy web token, it is actually one of those coins I was just talking about. It's one of those cryptocurrencies that is being niche at something. It just so happens to be not in a commercial area. You know, we are obviously looking to be more sustainable, more green as a planet, I would hope. But I just don't really think that I don't really see its place in cryptocurrency. I have looked at Energy Web Token, and it looks like it might be able to work. But Power Ledger tried this, and they're nothing. They're a business that, you know, tried to use blockchain to change the way electricity was circulated. And ultimately it didn't work, and like even Australia thinks it's a scam. So this industry, the electric industry, has not worked thus far. So it's I don't know, it's difficult. And looking at the current demand, it's shit. It's 50 to 1, less than that probably. Yes, it's like 55 to 1 volume to market cap ratio, which sucks. Yeah, not good. How long have I been on now? Just over an hour. Don't want to be on too much longer. Again, it's going to be one of those, Superman, you talk too long. And I'll just get all this, criticism. Any other good questions? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, Patrick, you found Donny Hoddle's and Tommy's. There were two others I didn't see, which actually really irritates me because I didn't think they were going to get lost. Patience was also a great 80s rock ballad. Don't know about that one. Bantaran lost 100 million holding Luna. Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. It just happens. I'd be very surprised if it was 100 million, but you never know. I do remember he did a stream. I remember watching it, and he was like saying what his big winners were. And at that point, Luna was, I think, one of the big success stories. So it was, he had bragging rights for that. But unfortunately, that didn't work out, but it happens. That's just what happens. Quant. A lot of people have said Quant, so let me have a look at that. Freddie Wooten, I'm taking your Udemy class. 5 star. Thank you very much, Freddie. Unusual suspect. Quant. Let me have a look at that. Let me see if it's on here, actually. Where is it? I thought it was in metrics. Bear with me a sec. Let me see if I can see how I got to covalence one. Yeah, it was metrics. So why couldn't I find that with quant? Supply, that's why. So metrics, supply. But it doesn't really say. Let me have a look then. Quant, I think, is too far gone anyway, but let's have a look. Let's have a look. No harm in that anyway, is what I intend to do. Oh, quant is quant crypto. Quant is a financial term. With quant, there will never be more than 14.6 million supply. So let me have a look at that. So it's nearly approaching its max supply. So it's got a max supply. That's good already. 54 million. That's not quite so good. That is... What is that? A 20th? A 20th volume to market cap? But... yeah, can't quite find it. Can't quite find it because of the term quant. It's not so easy to find here. And they haven't put it in this area either. Yeah. Now, one would have to look into like the Telegram group or something to actually find that info. I see, what do you think about Root? Nothing really. Velas, that's a good one. Let's have a look at Velas inflation rate. I think that's the same as Solana. I think it's 6% a year. Let me have a look. Oh, 8%. I think it's 8%, but it gradually reduces. It's just like Solana. Solana started quite high as well. So supply will increase 8% yearly the first year, but this was... Oh, that was... Brilliant. Right, okay, so supply will increase 8% first year, and then that inflation is reduced 15% annually, and then it will be reduced again until it reaches 1.5% as long-term inflation. So the current inflation rate now is 6.99 when you take off the 15%. So 8% was the first year. We're in the second year of Velas, aren't we? So yeah, so it's 6.99. So yeah, it's going to keep going down. It's just like Solana. Like Solana, I mean, it's a fork of Solana. So it's therefore must have built in the same exact like inflationary characteristics. Do I like Cadena? Yeah, I do like Cadena. I love Cadena, actually. I think Cadena's very early stage hype. It had a lot of hype in the bull season as a layer one potential. It did that pivot from like being a low cap into being relatively a large cap, I think. But Cadena has a high inflation rate because of the miners. Yeah, this is what I said about. This is my issue with Cadena. Like, it's got so many really, really good qualities. Proof of work, very high transaction throughput. It basically, again, it's like kind of combining almost like Bitcoin with Cardano, because it's like not Ethereum anymore. Ethereum isn't going to be proof of work. So proof of work with very high transaction throughput and fast finality, low gas, they're very good qualities. But it's the inflation rate that kills it. It's a bit like Avalanche. Avalanche's inflation rate, I think, is 40%. Let me have a look. Inflation. Oh, 24%. I've heard it's... Oh, here we are. As of November... Oh, so this was in November. Yeah, so when I looked at it, it was high inflation. So 40%. Yeah, so, yeah. It's like a bit of an issue. Like, you're just facing dilution. That's the problem. Right, I think that's it for today, because I don't have many more... I will have a look at the Super Chats and make sure I answer them as the first questions in the next video. And unless anybody else has any more questions, Then let me have a look and see how Tatecoin did in the end. I didn't get into it, but I think it was like a 60,000 market cap. That's probably not even out yet. Probably on here. Let's have a look and see if it actually launched. Oh, it might have been this Tate token actually. Might be this. Can't be sure. Can't see anything. Anyway, oh, the market cap is 321,000, so that's gone up. What's that? 8x? 7x? I don't know. Probably more like 5x. Yeah, but more like 5x actually. 5x. My maths is terrible. I didn't fail maths. I was actually very good at maths, but yeah, sometimes off the cuff. Pretty shit. Good to see you, Eva. Glad you were able to join the stream. Hope you're still watching from Monaco. A place I would quite love to be right now. I think that the chances of a Monaco apartment are now delayed for another 3 or 4 years. But I'll get there. Becca said it 100x. Becca said it 100x. What? What's that? I can't even remember the last thing I looked at. Right, okay, people. I think that is it. So, I hope that in today's video, you were able to see a pick of fantastic deflationary cryptocurrencies. And I think what I hope that this stream also did for you is show you what to be looking for in your future investments and just to consider inflation as a big part of the fundamentals as to why you invest in something. Because I think that what we have grown to learn in our own, I think the whole world has come to learn that inflation goes out of control. And the reason why is because countries and governments can just print money. And we are going to be in a period of economical hardship because of the lack of control of inflation. And if we are looking for ways in which to battle inflation in the future, then the only way is deflation. And so I hope that what I have shown you today is an extra element of what you should be looking for in your research, what you should be looking for in cryptocurrencies. A lot of people who talk about cryptocurrencies, like there's so many people who are saying how great Avalanche is, etc. But if you're not aware that it's going to have 40% inflation, then you are just headed for major dilution of the tokens you hold. Versus an asset like Bitcoin, which has the opposite problem. Bitcoin will continue to appreciate and it will continue to be seen as gold and having the properties of gold because of its very, very low inflation, which is fixed. It's written in, it cannot be changed. And that's what I love about particularly mineable cryptocurrencies. But having said that, either way, a lot of these cryptocurrencies have got, written into it, it's inflation, and it's designed to work autonomously. So therefore, I hope that this has educated you on how to look for inflation and what's out there at the moment and how good what's out there is and why what's out there can appreciate wildly and become the next Bitcoin and over multiple cycles can net you millions. Depending on how much you invest in it, obviously. Or if you invest a lot and don't invest for long, you can make millions. But if you don't invest a lot, but you invest for a long time, you can make millions. Okay? And that is what deflationary elements and being an elite cryptocurrency is likely to do for you. So although I love my micro caps, we are in a period where actually it's best to get into the blue chips. I've been the Suppoman. You've been amazing. I will see you next time. It is lights out, all out.